How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about why now is a good time to buy crypto. We're starting to see a little bit of a bounce, and I realize that some people think that this might just be a little bit of a bounce or relief bounce, and then we'll go right back down, which is possible, right? We could see more of a dip than what we've seen so far, but some of these metrics that I'm going to show you here today, some of the numbers, some of the on-chain data will show you that long term, even just over the next couple months, now is a great time to buy. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button, I really appreciate that. I do want to talk about stocks a little bit towards the end, but more on that later. So right now we are seeing a lot of cryptos up 4, 5, 10% right now. And this is after we saw a pretty big drop over the last few days. I mean, some are outperforming, right? With Terra and Avalanche up about 15 to 20%, Polygon up 12%, Chainlink up 17%, and Bitcoin is over that 42,000 mark. So a lot of people are saying, hey, maybe that 40,500 wick that we saw was the last little bit of pain. And we have seen the crypto fear and greed index come up a little bit. We're still in extreme fear, but yesterday we were at 10. We were at dark extreme fear. And one of the first things I want to show you is this little graph I made. So this is basically the last year of prices and then the last year of fear and greed indexes. So I just put them overlaid. I made the background transparent on the price so it's easy to see. You can see that we did have Bitcoin around about 30,000 at the beginning of last year, and the fear was actually really low. There was a lot of greed because remember, it had pumped right into the end of the year and beginning of the year. Then we saw a little bit of a drop here from about 37,000 or so down to about 30,000, and we saw a huge amount of fear right away, and then it came right back up. But what you can see here is basically whenever there's a lot of greed in the market, the price is near an all-time high, right? I mean, with the exception of maybe over here, and then we saw a little bit more of a rally here where we were at 45,000. Then we dropped a little bit down in the end of September or in September, and then we saw it come back up. We did see a pretty big drop still after we had some greed, right? When we were in the 70s and 80s for greed, we did see a drop. So when was the best time to buy? Well, it was when we were at these 10 ranges, right? Back in the summer, we saw 10 several times on the fear and greed index, and we saw that yesterday. So does that necessarily signal that we're going to bounce? No, but that shows, hey, there's a lot of fear in the market, which is one of the best times to buy. And the last couple times we've seen that, we have seen a huge rally afterwards. Now, one other thing that you have to pay attention to is not just the fear and greed index, but also RSI. We have not seen RSI this low except for 2 other times in the last 2 years. COVID crash and then the summer crash. Now we're back below this RSI line and could potentially signal a bottom. And then taking a look at the illiquid supply chart versus the price. We've seen this happen a few times where the illiquid supply has actually passed price. You can see one was back here, back in summer, or back in 2017. We saw the illiquid supply go up, it went above the price and then went back down. But then we saw a huge rally afterwards, and it kind of came out where the Bitcoin price went ahead. We saw it back here, back in 2020, and we saw just a little bit of red above here, and then we saw a big rally, and now we're seeing the same thing. So illiquid supply continues to gain while Bitcoin price falls down, just kind of like a coiled spring. And then one other thing to take a look at is the amount on exchanges. It's low as ever, low as we've seen in 3-4 years. And we continue to see large buys from some of the whales. Even Bloomberg Intelligence is saying that they see Bitcoin going to 100K and Ethereum going to 5K in 2022. Now, based on those numbers, it would make a lot more sense to buy Bitcoin because that means that Ethereum will be going about 60 or 70% up, while Bitcoin will be going up about 150%. They think that this is coming here soon as the Federal Reserve faces the greatest inflation in 4 decades, more inclined to raise interest rates if risk assets continue climbing. He says that Bitcoin, Ether, and US stablecoins will maintain dominance in 2022, while some top 2021 winners like BNB and Solana may end the pattern of temporary visitors among the top 5. He says that crypto assets are tops among the speculative and risky, but the firstborn is rapidly transitioning towards becoming the world's digital reserve asset. And with all that happening in the background, you have to realize that there's a lot of buying still going to be happening. We have billionaires that are getting in on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Shiba, all these different cryptos, from Elon Musk to Barry Silbert, Mark Cuban, and Michael Saylor, Mike Novogratz. You can keep on moving down the line. There are a lot of billionaires that are now talking about cryptos. Ray Dalio recently said that allocating 2% of a portfolio to Bitcoin is reasonable. And he's someone that used to be very against that. I think Kevin O'Leary has said something like he's going to be around 20%, even though he is very risk averse and tries to diversify a significant amount. You have to remember too that a lot of banks are going to start offering Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to their clients, which is going to push a lot of people into crypto. When we think about it, who has the most money here, at least in the US? It's obviously the older generations. Now, they will be passing a lot of their wealth down over the coming 10, 20 years, but right now they hold a majority of the wealth, and they're going to start probably dollar cost averaging a little bit into cryptos here. And this is just in the US, but you can see Morgan Stanley, US Bank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, they're all going to be offering this to their clients. It's just a matter of time. And we see this in a bunch of other countries too. 18 million clients at this bank are going to be offered crypto, 6 million at this bank. We see that every single day or every single week. We see a new bank offering it to their clients. One thing to pay attention to, though, is the leverage in the market. It's still very high. You have to realize that we're above that 0.2 level. But I would say usually we don't see the leverage increase this much and the price continue to fall, which is maybe an indicating factor that a lot of this is short leverage. Now, how do we make money in this environment, right? Of course, Bitcoin could just be in a little bit of a relief, a little bit of a bounce, and then we could see more red. So I think you still have to have some money on the sidelines unless you just want a dollar cost average and not worry about it. Know that long term it is the right play. I think buying Bitcoin is never a bad option, right? For the long term, it is the least risky of anything on this list here today. I also think it makes sense to buy some of the top layer ones. They had a great year in 2021, and I think 2022 will be a big year for them. So Ethereum coming out with layer 2 coming this year. BNB, still a great chain that doesn't get much hype, doesn't really get talked about that much, but there's a reason that it's top 5 and has been for about a year, right? BNB still is going with their quarterly burn. It's going to be an auto burn now. They just announced that they're doing this soon again, and there will be continuously less and less BNB out there. Solana is still one of the fastest movers, one of the best layer ones out there. I think Cardano has been hit hard, but if they can get their DEXs working and start getting value locked on Cardano, could do well. Terra Luna obviously has been a great crypto to hold. I actually just bought it recently for the first time. I felt like I kind of missed the bus, but it fell down 30%. You can see that's up about 17, 18% here today. Polkadot also has been hit hard recently with their parachain auctions. They are looking like they're in a little bit of a rough spot because they haven't been able to get a lot of momentum, but I'm still long-term holding that Polkadot. Avalanche also has done really well, and they're having their ecosystem grow so quickly, along with the number of transactions and the total value locked. Polygon, I think, is another one you have to look at. I have a significant amount of Polygon, and as Ethereum is still congested, I think it's a great play. Now, one other crypto that has held up really well that I've talked about a lot on this channel recently is Sol. So Sol is a smaller cryptocurrency that held up really well recently. So it's at $3.33. I bought it starting at $1.30. You can see on the one day, it has done extremely well. It's up about 17%. Over the last week, it did fall down to $2.66, but it bounced pretty well there. And the thing is, that's not even going that far back, right? We saw $2.66 about a week ago, so it made this massive pump. So the fact is, it only went down to lows that we had seen in a week. So I think this is a very strong crypto to hold. Again, their smart contract or smart NFT layer 1 solution for a lot of gaming crypto. So definitely one that you should have on your list. I did add to it maybe a couple weeks ago, and it's doing fantastic. With all this in mind, we also have a lot of pain in the stock market. We've seen a lot of the big cryptos, a lot of the big crypto related stocks do poorly, whether it's Coinbase or some of the miners. They've gotten hit pretty hard, which is why I do want to talk about a stock platform that I use. Now, I know I talk about crypto a lot on this channel, but I still get people to ask me where I'm investing in stocks, which is why I want to talk to you today about moomoo. So I started using moomoo recently and I really like it. So I know that we're kind of going through a little bit of a bear market at the time of this recording, at least with some of the growth stocks, but you can use some of their technical indicators to determine when a position is oversold or stock is oversold. They have extended hours trading, which is really important to sell before or after the market closes, because a lot of people still don't have access to this kind of thing. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of people can't sell before the market opens or after it closes. Also, they do allow you to invest in stocks outside the US, such as Hong Kong stocks, and they give free level 2 market data. That being said, there are some welcome gifts. So when you sign up using the link down below, you do have a couple chances to win some cool prizes, but you get some free stocks too. So when you deposit any amount on their platform, you get 2 stocks worth up to $3,500 each. And if you deposit $2,000, you get 5 free stocks. So you can definitely check out the link down below to try out moomoo. I think it's definitely one that you should try out to see if you like it, because they have a lot of information in one spot and they give short selling data, level 2 data. So definitely check out the link underneath the video. So that might be a good solution too. If you do want to buy some stocks, you could pick up some of these pretty beaten down companies. I think Coinbase is going to be a really strong company over the coming years. So it's just a matter of time. I think we're in a pretty good spot, honestly. And wow, this could just be a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a relief, or a little bit of a jump up in price just to try to get more people to buy in, and then some exit liquidity for other people for the short term. I think long term, this is a pretty good price to buy into a lot of cryptos, especially if you think that this is not the end of it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're still in a bull market, because honestly, I guess it depends what your definition of a bull market is. But when you think about it in the purest form of the definition, if we see a 20% drop, that is a crash. That usually signals a bear market, and we've dropped about 40% on Bitcoin. So the fact is, we are facing this mini bear market. The question isn't where we are now, it's where we're going moving forward, right? So I think, again, right now, the on-chain data is looking really good. The fear and greed index is looking good. All the people that are getting ready to buy are looking really good. But you do need some money on the sidelines. Don't put more money in than you can't afford to lose, at least short term, at least unrealized gains. And definitely check out the link down below to moomoo to get some free money and to try out a new stock app. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you guys being here, and let me know what you think about this underneath the video. Do you think it's a good time to buy, or are you sitting on the sidelines? And I'll see you in the next video.